Good Monday. This is Jay Brew, co-chairman of Seafried and Brew. People are anxiously awaiting this week for the Fed to come out with their announcement. Will they be changing the language, especially keeping rates low for a considerable period of time? Well, I look at it more in a formula. A plus B plus C is equal to what? And we start by looking at Dr. Ed Seafried's different levels of employment beyond that unemployment number that we got that was on the disappointing side a week ago. The larger employment picture is looking at, for instance, part-time for economic reasons, people working part-time in order to live. And when we see that, is that this is really stalled, but not only has stalled in here, but at higher levels than what we've seen going all the way back to 1955. One figure that has done better is long-term unemployment, 27 weeks plus. That has continued its downward move in here. But still, when we look at it compared to history, it's still at very high levels. And then we look at the participation rate that we've gone over for numerous months in here, looking at any kind of changes. And yet, this is also stalled at levels that have not been around since the 1970s. So when we then look at probably the most disturbing chart, which is the employment cost index 12-month change. When we go back in history, we look at all in being above 2.5% in terms of increases in here. But when we went into the recession, it went below the historic levels, and you can see that it just bounces around in here. So A plus B plus C plus D equals looking at the next 6 months from the Fed Philly in terms of across the nation. Once again, we still see no signs of any kind of recession. A couple of states turning into negative growth in here. But on an overall basis, when we look at the numbers, is that May 1.7%. June was revised down from 1.9% to 1.6%, and then in July we're at the same 1.6%. And this would indicate to me that interest rates will remain low for a considerable period of time. This is Jay Brew, co-chairman of Seafried and Brew. Have a great week.